Hello everyone and welcome to What's New with an Nintex. Today we'll take a quick look at table forms, a feature that was released very recently. So if you've logged into your Nintex Automation Cloud environment in recent days, you will see a What's New pop-up telling you all about table forms. What are table forms? Table forms are the ability to inject metadata into an Nintex table without the need for workflow. Nintex data, if you're new to Nintex data, it's the ability for Nintex Automation Cloud to store, persist, and reference its own data. So we don't need a connection to a third party system of record anymore. The ability to store data in lists, columns, rows is now live, has been for some time. Those tables can be referenced from workflow, they can be referenced from forms, or they can essentially form a mini database capability. So I'm going to very quickly take a look at table forms. So I will need a table in order to create a table form. So I'm going to go to Nintex data and I'm going to create a table. My table is going to be for Solution Engineer MVP awards. So let's say I just want that information stored, but I don't need a workflow. Pop in my description or pop in my language. I'll create the table. I'm only going to have a couple of real controls or columns for this. So name, that's going to be the solution engineer. I could pre-build this. So if I wanted to, I could actually have the names of the people or the names of the locations or the names of the assets in my table already. And that's going to give me a lookup capability. What else do I want? I'll take an integer, which will be points. It's the number of points. Let's do some range validation. So the min value is 1 and the max is 10, just so people stay within the realms of point scoring. And then I will add, let's do a justification. So why are they winning this incredible award? Let's pop that in. So I got my 3 columns. So I now have my new form up here. And if you've just logged in recently, you'll have a what's new up in the top right. And that'll take you to the table forms help. So any questions, any clarification? What does it do? Why is it doing this? Why doesn't it do that? Check out help.nintex.com. And this will give you everything that you need to know specifically about the new table forms option. So I want to create a table form. Click on form. Click on table forms designer. Looks and feels very similar to new instance forms, whether public, anonymous, or authenticated. Looks very similar to task forms. So it should be not necessarily a novel concept to anybody. I've got the things that make this great. I've got my form controls options here. I've got my table form controls here. So if I do need to drag in a new control, I can drag that in and then connect that to a table column. You've got your config. So is it visible? If it's not visible, is it going to be visible on a rule? If I select something here, do I pre-fill? So rules, styles, translation, form variables, all the things that we know about forms today available in my table forms. I'm not going to make this a particularly fancy form. Just want to show the capability. So maybe I'll just pump up the text size a little bit and make that bold. So name, points, justification. Let's just make that small. I can redirect. So all the things that you should be used to with forms. Apply the changes to the form. Publish my form table. It's available in My Nintex if I want to fill it in through My Nintex. Otherwise, I am going to get the URL for that particular form. I can open that up in a new tab. Complete. So John Smith gets 10 points. Let's try 19, but it tells me that the max value is 10. 10 points for an amazing demo to our huge customer and for being a top bloke. Submit. So obviously no rules on this one, but rules, styling, language, all would be inherited in my table form. If I redirected, it's going to go to my redirect. So now I can go back to my Nintex table. And after a quick refresh, my instance should be in. There we go. So now I've got my table. I can obviously do the data export if need be, and I can play around with that in another application, or I can now use this table within workflows to reference the table data. So if you're using that to populate reference data, I can actually now go to my Nintex tables actions down here. I can query a table. If I wanted to query that MVP awards, let's say I'll select all of the tables if I wanted to use a workflow to pick the winner, for instance. So there we go, table forms available now. Check out the help file, tell us the cool stuff you're doing with it. Enjoy.